What's up, guys? Today we have the Sherpa Equipment Company mid-height Gladiator bed rack. So I decided to go with this one because all the other bed racks were easily 100 to 200 pounds, and they all held like max of 800 pounds, right? Well, this system is claimed that it can hold up to 1,000 pounds static, 400 pounds dynamic. So I decided, you know what? This was going to be the perfect system for me. So I've got a 2022 Jeep Gladiator Sport that I decided I was going to throw it on. So I've got some crossbars that I decided weren't cutting it, couldn't hold the same weight that this thing could. So today we're going to assemble this thing and see how well it does. So let's get going. So here are all of the tools that we're going to need to do this install. It's just going to be a 14, a 13, and 11. That's it. You're not going to need a screwdriver. You're not going to need anything else. Those three will get you through this entire rack install, and it's pretty simple, which is amazing. All right, so here we've got everything laid out. So we've got all the hardware. They provide you with some Loctite. They've got, everything that you need to make sure that you can get this set up. So here's the feet for the towers. Here's what attaches to your bed. You've got your panel accessory racks, and then these are what I'm going to mount the tent to. So let's see what it takes to get these all put together. All right, so for this first part, what we're going to do is we're going to take the feet that attach to the bedside, and we're going to attach them to the towers, so that way we can get the side-to-side bracket installed. So I'm going to take one tower and one of the feet, and I'm going to take 8 of these hardware right here. These are going to be, they're different than the ones that attach the side panels. Those ones are just a little bit smaller. So hopefully we can see that. There's a little bit of a difference. So I'm going to attach those so that way we can get the bottom section all secured and ready to go. So we're going to take one nut, one washer, and one nylock nut. So this is one of the ones they provide, and this is going to be a 13. Super easy to assemble so far. So let's go ahead and get that together. And I'm just going to loosely fit everything together so that way once I get it on the truck, I can kind of tighten everything down. That way no guessing about anything. All right, so there's one, and we're just going to repeat this process for 3 more. All right, so we've got all 4 towers complete. So what we're going to do now is we're going to focus on just 2 of these guys. So what we do now is we're going to take one of the crossbars, and we're going to stick the crossbar in between the tower. And now we want to insert 4 more of these guys. So we're going to make sure that holds it in place so that we can get those towers tightened down. So I'll do these, and I'll take a couple more washers. And then a couple more nuts, and we'll just go ahead and thread those on. So what I'll do now is I'm going to get all of these towers attached to the crossbars, and then we'll see how it looks. Take it in a short panel. Everything's kind of going to fit together real nice and snug. You may have to shimmy it in a little bit, but you're never going to have to force it harder than a little shimmy. Should be great. And this is going to still use a 13 to tighten down. So we'll go ahead and tighten these down and keep going. One done. Now we can go ahead and get on to the second one. All right, so we've got the crossbars and the feet, the towers all assembled. So now we're going to get it thrown onto the Gladiator. And then once it's thrown on, that's when I'll throw on the load panels, or the accessory panels. That way I can get proper spacing and, again, fit everything loose. So that way you get it all lined up and then cinch down when it's in the truck. Not too difficult to do by yourself. And remember, whatever you choose for the back is going to have the Sherpa logo facing out so everyone can see it. All right, so now that it's up there, before I get the feet put on, I'm going to take our smaller hardware, a washer, and a nylon lock nut, and I'm going to get these just kind of cinched up. I want to need one smaller. This would be up in there, but says it. All right, so go ahead on this one. All right. That's fine. All right, now I'm going to push this in as close together as it can go. Perfect. And one thing you want to be careful of is these carrier bolts. You want to make sure they stick in here exactly how they need to, because when you go to tighten them down, if they're not sitting in there just right, it's going to get all screwed up. You're going to have to redo it. And those ones should be just an 11. And I'm actually going to grab, instead of a wrench, I'm going to go ahead and grab a socket. All right, so I realized when I was doing this, the accessory panels, I put them on way too low. I put them on in the lowest position. So undid those, moved them to the center bracket, and then secured them as high as it could go there. I think that gives it plenty of space to be able to do what needs to be done. So I think that's a really good setup. So now that I have it all cinched, or I have it all ready to go, I can go ahead and install the feet, and I'm going to show you guys how to do that right now. All right, so this is really simple. You have this bracket right here. If you do not have your factory bed rails, this is how you're going to get it to mount. So you want this textured piece to point up, because that's going to sit under here in the bed rail and grab on, so that way it has, you know, a little bit of extra grip on it. And then this longer piece, this is going to sit right up against here, the bracket that they give you. So this is going to be just a bolt and a washer, and this is going to be a 14. So you'll go ahead and install it behind. I'm going to thread it in. And then I'll go ahead and take my 14. And before I get too tight, I'm going to actually undo that just a smidge. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do that process for all 4 before I come back and tighten all of this hardware, so we're good to go. This is a great example. You want to make sure that it sits level and it's not crooked like this. So it's sitting at an angle currently right behind this bracket. So I need to loosen this and get it situated right so that it sits properly. There we go, much better. So now that we've got the feet all tightened down to the bed, what we're going to do is now I'm going to go through and just tighten up all of these on all 4 corners. And then that's it. We're going to be done. It's super simple setup. Doesn't take very long at all. It's pretty great. Just make sure you're going in the right direction. You don't loosen everything. And that's that. Bed rack, super easy to put together. I love the height. It's not a full rack, so it only goes about, I think, 13 inches above the bed. But super well built, super solid. It's not going anywhere. That thing is over-engineered, and I couldn't be more stoked. So, thanks, guys.